I just hit record because this is something that I really want to get across. I believe I'll probably post this next. The discussion around piracy and Star Citizen is a really interesting one, and I completely missed a very, very important part of the conversation, okay? And it's very, very important. And I didn't completely miss it in the react that we did to the last video, right? From, I think, Oddjob was the channel name. And it was really, 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 really good video. And it's not the NPC ratio thing. It's that nobody is trying to make piracy easier. If anything, every single pirate I've had conversations with they want piracy to be harder, dragging this out to hit monetization requirements. I've actually never done that, to be honest. Maybe a few times, but like my guides are really short, and people were praising that they were and stuff like that. So I'm gonna keep it that way. The issue in question around piracy is interdiction. Interdiction is you require a website to put yourself in the right place to get the most lucky and come across the most people to interdict. If they're actually going down those lanes at all, right? So yeah, you have to use a website called Snare Plan. It's ridiculous. It shouldn't be that way. That was the conversation really around the Oddjob video. Right? Is that aspect of piracy is ridiculous and stupid, and it just should be better. It should be easier. What that means is up to the developers. Okay? That aspect should be easier. What should not be easier is just generally being a pirate living in Stanton. That's crazy. That they just get to hang out, right? What? Why? Right? They just get to hang out like nothing's happening. The other issue, and this is what I did address, is that we keep looking at this as if the game is Elite Dangerous or EVE Online, and that there's thousands of possible trade lanes, and that some of them are going to be risky. But in the current game, if we ever do get server meshing, and let's say they solve that 800 player test issue. If there are 800 players in an individual server and 50 of them are pirates, you're going to run into pirates way more often than you do now, and it's probably not going to be that good of an experience for people, right? The other aspect that was not mentioned in that react, and that I made lots and lots and lots of comments about, but I don't think anybody will see them because nobody really goes to the comment section on YouTube, is there should be risky trade runs and trade lanes, in my opinion, and there should be non-risky ones. And the non-risky ones should obviously make less money than the risky ones. What does a risky trade lane mean? What does it look like? I have no idea what these guys will do. Is it a NPC attack? Are you going to get interdicted more often? How does it involve with player interaction? I have no clue. I really do not. And I don't think it's our place to make decisions on what it should look like. But I think it's very clear that the PvP or the piracy versus trader conversation, it is always hyper-focused on the pirate finding the trader. But it never really explains that there should be enough trade lanes that aren't risky or ways around the risky ones that are just longer, that pirates won't sit at or can't sit at because it's too risky for them. Does that make sense? So The only thing that I can think of is that the risky trades and the risky trade lanes will be locations in Pyro and getting to the Pyro jump gate. But once you're kind of through the Pyro jump gate, you're safe. But what does that mean? Like, we're in a very weird situation where there's monitored space and there's unmonitored space. Should there be more monitored space in Stanton? Because in unmonitored space, pirates just sit there. And nobody can see that they're there. And things like that. I don't know what the answers are. But I do want to just put out the clear and present issues. The clear and present issues are every trade lane could be dangerous. But the Stanton system and even if we have Stanton and Pyro, if we ever end up in a server mesh situation, that is not enough systems. Guys, even if we end up in a release 1.0 scenario, how many star systems do you think are going to be in a 1.0 scenario? 5? 10? Is that enough combinations of jumps and trade lanes for the cargo haulers have an option to enjoy their game and the pirates have an option to enjoy their game without over encroaching? There's got to be a balance, right? And the balance isn't 50-50. So there's like a big problem here that needs to be figured out. So I don't know what the answer is, but the problem is that pirates live way too simply in what would be considered a relatively safe system like Stanton. Right? And if we get more players in a server, pirates are going to legitimately become a problem because of that. And there's no real way to determine what a safer trade lane is versus a non-safe trade lane, other than if a commodity is worth less, it'll be pirated less or something like that. It's an interesting situation to discuss. I don't think I have any of the answers. I think I could just see the problems. And I want to make that very clear. Elliot in chat says, I mean, some big trade lanes are going to be from LEO to jump points, as that's one way for cargo that gets between systems. Yes, but I think the issue here is there's not a trade lanes don't exist. So LEO to a jump point can still be avoided. You could still avoid pirates by doing I'm going to go from the LEO to a Crusader L1, stop my jump halfway in between, and then jump to a jump point, right? LEOs are the like Port Olisar or Seraphim Station, the ones that are locked above a city. Yeah, you can create a non-efficient route to avoid. So I find that interesting because you know it takes 10 seconds to do that, right? So I just find the word efficient interesting, not because I think it's wrong. I think it's because I wonder what you guys are, what's spinning in your heads there about efficiency and like, are these things going to be timed and so on and so forth. But I think the people making the missions really need to talk to people about the way quantum travel works or how it's going to work, and I'm sure you have. But at the current point in time, traders very easily can avoid snares, but also pirates can avoid ever dealing with security. So what is the solution? We hand it over to CIG to figure it out, right? That's how I look at it. But the entire way we quantum travel and the way we snare is not going to work. I don't think. Something has to be addressed, changed, figured out. I think. And the idea behind what a trade lane is, I think, is what they're figuring out now. And we'll just have to see on that. Yeah, exactly. The routes with extra steps are too effective please. To avoid
no need
pirates.
To shout. No need to yell. No need to have a riot.
So, yeah, we have to leave it to CIG to figure it out. They're the ones who are the game devs and they understand. And I think that that's where we need to be. But I just think putting out the problem there is really, really good. And really, really, and again, I want to make sure that it's very clear is that I think most of the trading that's done in Star Citizen should not be risky, should not have the opportunity to be risky, but also should not be able to make millions and billions and trillions of credits easily either, right? So whatever they do with cargo missions, we'll see. But I just want to make sure that it's very clear that I am not 100% in the Pirates' corner, but I definitely want my heart pounding if I know and I know I'm going down a risky trade route. I signed up for it. That's what I want to feel my heart pound when I know I'm doing something risky. But I also want to have my moments of chill when I don't want to have my heart pounding. Right? That's what I want out of the game. I hope CIG understands that. I think that's what most of the cargo haulers in the game are kind of looking for. Is it's one of those chill mechanics. And I know we're in really good hands with Elliot when it comes to those aspects. It's his bread and butter when he plays video games is this type of gameplay. So I honestly think that we're in really good hands. It's just a matter of we're not only in his hands. The entire quantum system and piracy and all these things involve a lot more people and a lot more mechanics than just cargo missions, right? So it is it'll be interesting. I don't know what to do. I don't have any of the answers, but it's very easy to see the problems in the current game, and I look forward to seeing how they change and how they grow. And I think the first step is with the new update in 323.2, and we'll just see what happens. But fingers crossed, man. That's all we could do is fingers crossed, and fingers crossed the feedback gets to them and that they can deal with it in a timely manner. But this is Star Citizen, so expecting that is just insanity.